everyone. So, before we go to our main topic, I'm gonna ask you, what is valve? So valve is a device to close and open passage in the motor engines. There are two types of engine valves that are used for cylinder, an inlet or intake valve, and exhaust valve. The inlet valves is subjected to less heat and usually made from plain nickel, nickel chrome, or chrome molybdenum. The exhaust valve is usually made of silchrome steel, which is an alloy of silicon and chromium with unusual resistance to heat. Valve mechanism means simply the sequence of operation of opening and closing of the valve. The valves are operated by cams mounted on a camshaft. The camshaft gets motion from the crankshaft. As the camshaft turns, the cam operates the valve. 1. Valve mechanism for operating the valve in engine block, straight poppet valve. 2. Valve mechanism for operating the valve in the cylinder head, overhead poppet valve. Valve tappet clearance. This tappet clearance is the space available between the tip of the rocker arm and the valve stem when the valves are closed when the engine is in cooled conditions, in compression stroke. This clearance allows for expansion of the valve stem as the engine becomes heated.
So, our next topic is hydraulic valve, lifter. Hydraulic tappet is a device for maintaining zero valve clearance in an internal combustion engine. Where's the situation? The situation between the camshaft and each engine's valve is a hollow steel cylinder encasing an internal piston. This piston is held at the outer limit of its travel with a strong spring, and the lobed camshaft rhythmically presses against the lifter, which transmits the motion to the engine valve one of two ways. 1. Through a pushrod that actuates the valve via a rocker mechanism. 2. Direct contact with the valve stem, or rocker arm, eccentric rocker arm. Eccentric rocker arm automatically compensates for the difference in valve tappet clearance. Rocker arm is an oscillating lever that conveys radial movement from the cam lobe into linear movement at the poppet valve to open it. Valve cooling. The cooling valve is for one pole and works independent of other cooling and air conditioning system. The valve cooling is a single closed-loop deionized water system. Spray water will be used if the water temperature rises above controller set point value. It is obvious that the exhaust valve runs hotter than the inlet valve because the exhaust valve is always in contact with the hot gases while the inlet valve is somewhat cool.
Is the hydraulic tip. What is the definition for hydraulic tip? Is an device maintains zero valves clearance in an internal combustion engine. Now we are talking about where is start. Is starts between the camshaft and each engine's valve, whole steel cylinder incense an internal piston, and this piston is held at the outer limit of its travel with a stronger spring and lobed camshaft pressure against the lifter, which transmit the motion to the engine valve one of two ways. The first one is through a pushrod, which acts the valve via a rocker mechanism. The second is direct connecting with the valve stem or rocker arm. And the second topic is a rocker arm. And what is the definition for the rocker arm? Is an oscillating lever lever that prevents radial movement from the cam lobe into linear movement at the puppet valve to open it. And the third topic is about the valve cooling. And the valve cooling is a single closed loop deionized water system. And also the valve cooling is for one pole and works independent of other cooling and air conduction system. And the spring and the spray water will be used if the water temperature rises above control set point valve.
Sodium-cooled valve. Sodium-filled valves are hollow and partially filled with liquid sodium. Sodium-cooled valves are used in many heavy-duty engines. A sodium valve has a hollow stem, which is partly filled with metallic sodium.